Hello everyone, welcome to Ferris Sports Update. Filling in for Rob Bentley today, I'm Jared Shafran. On today's show, we'll talk men's hockey with the head coach Bob Daniels as they went to Bowling Green for a weekend series, and we'll preview the last regular season WCHA series of the year this week at Aveglaben Ice Arena against Lake Superior State. We'll also talk with women's basketball head coach Kendra Foston about their final game of the season at Grand Valley, and we'll talk men's and women's tennis with the head coach Chad Berryhill. Right now we've got Bob Daniels in studio here to talk about Bowling Green last weekend. Coach, thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here, and it's good to have you on set as well, Jared.
Thanks very much. And Coach, last weekend a huge series, last 2 weeks of the year, everything tight in the WCHA standings, and Bowling Green was a very formidable opponent for you guys.
Yeah, they were, and you know, it's interesting. The whole second half we talked about winning in order to. We want to put pressure on ourselves. The more you win, the more things. The prize gets bigger, if you will, and the games get bigger. And through our success in the second half of the WCHA, we put ourselves in a position where, realistically, we're going into the rink fighting for second place. And while the weekend didn't turn out like we wanted to, I'm glad we had that experience. It was a very loud environment there. I mean, really exceedingly great crowd, and it was good for us, and it'll make us a better team as we continue to move forward.
You've already clinched a playoff spot in the WCHA playoffs, so at this point it's worrying about positioning, and you've made it a point from the beginning of the season. You want home ice, and here and you got a position where you can still get that this weekend.
Yeah, we do. We lost control of our own situation in that we're trailed Northern Michigan now by a point, and even right now we really don't know how the tiebreaker would unfold because this weekend's games are going to have impact both on the standings in terms of points as well as the tiebreaker scenarios. But you know what? We're still in a good position to get home ice. We can go out there and have some success against really a Lake Superior State team that's playing very well right now.
Take a look at the highlights here from Bowling Green in 2 games. Started off right here against a Falcon team, and it was a back and forth, really fast-paced start to the game. Both teams a lot of chances early.
Yeah, well, the whole series had a lot of pace to it, a lot of physicality, a real playoff-type atmosphere. You can see the crowd there. It was excellent crowds both nights. Here you can see our first goal by Corey Mackin, great freshman season he's having, and a big assist on that goal by Drew Durantes. And you know, we jump out to a 2-0 lead in this game, and it's disappointing we weren't able to hold on to that lead.
Absolutely, and you mentioned that line with the Corey Mackin goal, and it was a new line for you guys playing together for the first time, and Andrew Mayer really adding that physical presence to the line.
Yeah, well, Drew Durantes and Corey Mackin have been together all year, but 19 was a new insert on that line. I thought, though, on the weekend here, number 20, Gerald Mayhew makes a great play. I thought he was fabulous. Now, what really kind of hurt us on night 2 was he got injured in this game, and he played, but it really restricted his mobility. But well, he really had a whale of a game here.
Mentioned the 2-0 lead in this game. There was a delay with a bit of broken glass, and they end up scoring 2 goals in the second period to tie it back up. But you had a 3-2 lead here as Sean O'Rourke scores a goal going to the 3rd period.
Yeah, we did have the 3-2 lead. You're right about the broken glass. It was a 45-minute delay by the, cleaned up the old glass and then brought the new stuff in. They had to run the Zamboni. So they score on the power play. They're a heck of a shot to tie it 3-3. But you know, this game it's dead even. We have numerous chances here to take the lead. We just don't find a way to score.
Yeah, very even game for the whole way, and you had the lead going into the 3rd. They end up tying it up, and it was a late goal that ends up giving them the victory with just about 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. You look at 7 goals in a game, and you think, wow, the goalies may not have played that well because that's a lot of goals, but that's not true. The goaltenders, I thought, played really well. And, I think this was a game, and the scores indicative could have gone either way. It was that tight.
Yeah, we looked at the shots on goal, a lot of chances for both sides, and you regroup for the second game knowing that you can still come out with a split on the weekend. What were the focuses going into that second game?
Well, we had 2 defensemen out, too. Simone Denis got injured in the first game and was unable to play. We're hoping to get him back. And then Brandon Anselmini was very sick. He couldn't make the morning skate, and he's a warrior. So for him to really not be able to step up and play, you knew he was ill. So we had 2 freshman defensemen in, and I thought they played very well in this game. You know, I didn't see pride time minutes. They still saw 15 to 17 minutes of hockey, and it's going to be, here they are right now making the pass to one another. But it'll pay dividends down the road, and for the first time in their careers, as I watched them, I'm like, hey, they're getting it. They're figuring this out, and I thought they played very well.
How was it for those guys to step into that situation because they hadn't played really in a few weeks? Riker Killens got into a game in Alaska, but Zach Tierney, it had really been a while since he'd been in a game.
It had been probably since the Christmas tournament, and it wasn't as though either one was playing poorly, but we had a spot opened up on defense for them both to play quite a bit in the first half because we had moved 25 Sean O'Rourke up to a forward position, but Sean, his natural position's defense. We started playing him back there in the second half. We have four seniors, a junior and a sophomore that are all playing, and there just wasn't room to put them out there. And lo and behold, they got pressed to the service, and I thought they played very well.
Game was tied 1-1 after 2 periods. You got a shorthanded goal in the first from Matt Robertson, second shorthanded goal of the season, and right off the bat in the third period, Kyle Schemp, your captain, scores a huge goal to give you the lead.
Well, when we take that goal and we scored that, it was actually at the end of a power play. Really, you know, for all intents, should have been a power play goal. The guy had gotten out of the box, but not back into the play. This is probably the only time all weekend I was really disappointed with our team. Even, you know, we had a 2-1 lead, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, we're down 4-2. We pull the goalie. The next 2 goals are, I mean, I hate to be like that, they're meaningless. An empty net goal, and then another one which, you know, we mishandled, but we were in the tank on that. So, but there was that probably 10-minute stretch there in the third where I thought Bowling Green really rose the level of their game, and we weren't able to respond, and I was disappointed in that. But other than that 10-minute span in the third period, I thought we had a pretty good period, or a pretty good weekend of hockey. We always tell our guys we're not going to grade everything based on wins and losses, and we're graded on performance. And probably the only thing we will address from that weekend is that 10-minute span where it got away from us in Game 2.
So 2 losses on the weekend. However, get a little help on the scoreboard. Northern Michigan only able to pick up 1 point, so you're only 1 point behind, and you get a couple wins this weekend, you might be right where you wanted to be no matter what happens.
Well, the standings are starting to unfold. There's still some movement that can be had throughout the entire standings. Our movement, basically, it looks like it's going to be 4th or 5th place. We could finish as low as 6th. That looks doubtful right now. So it looks like we're headed to play Northern Michigan in the first round of the playoffs. The only question now is, do we play them here or do we play them at their rink? And this weekend's games with Lake State will decide that.
Yeah, these are 2 huge games, and you got senior night coming up. Some really impactful seniors for this program over the past 4 years. What have they meant to your team?
Oh, they've meant a great deal, and you're right. And I don't know if it's the winningest. It's one of the winningest classes that'll have graduated from here. They've seen 1, maybe 2 conference titles. They've seen a couple of national championships. You look at Simone Denis as a 5th-year senior. He's been to a national championship game. He's been to an NCAA regional final game. They've seen a lot. They've done a lot in their career, and you know, their mark, regardless of what goes on from here to the end of the year, their mark on this program will be a big one.
That's the head coach of the Ferris State Bulldogs, Bob Daniels. We appreciate you joining us here on Ferris Sports Update. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate it.